Go ahead.
Okay, for coloring your Domus Aurea, if you can get your pencil pretty sharp and hold it sideways like this, that would be the color of your concrete. Remember that the Romans had concrete. We don't think they invented it, but they made the best concrete because many of their structures are still in use today, and we will learn more about that as we go along. I have put crayon here. If you came in and got your supplies, you got a box of construction paper crayons, and you can do like this. So the grass goes up to the sky, so you want to draw it that way. You always draw it stuff the way it grows. And then if you go to the grocery store and get a cheap thing of watercolors, and if it doesn't have a green, yellow and blue make green, and just color that over it. It's kind of a fun thing here. I did this road with pencil, and if you want, you can use several shades of green, because grass really does have lots of different shades of green in it. So, but see how the crayon pops up? I think of the crayon as a fence that'll keep that watercolor trapped. You may have done this in elementary school, I don't know. Or you could do that whole thing with crayon, or you could do it with colored pencil. I did this pillar with that capital. Remember, it's a pillar, and I'm going to do mine with yellow. And I put some crayon over the Corinthian column top. So if you wanted to, you could put a shadow there. Just draw your pencil over the top, and that color can go right into the column. Now, anything that lays down like water, you're going to take a blue, and with watercolor you use a lot of water and very little color. So you can try it out and see how that pale blue looks like water. So you can, and that is colored pencil there. This is wine, and that's the dagger that Nero killed himself with. So, and to get a perfect score on this, you do have to color your edge of your pool, and I would use two separate kinds of color, like this green and pink work real well. Make sure the two color. This green is a cold color. Anything you think of as having to do with summertime grass that's cool, or snow was blue, that would be a cool color. Hot color is anything that, like pink, red, orange. So those are hot and cold colors. So you see how that contrasts? That's to help people who couldn't see very well. Now, can you do this with pencil or with crayons? Sure. If you don't have watercolors, let me find them. The crayons that I gave out have this color, and that's kind of nice for water. And you don't want to color this solid, but you do want to color it like sideways like this. Just slide this. I wanted my wine and my blood to drop into the water. So let me pull that over. I can do that with my fingers. Okay. Now, for this guy, you really want to use colored pencils. And unfortunately, my colored pencils weren't a complete set. So I'll make do. I'll teach you how to make do. We're going to do this with crayon, or with colored pencil. His belt, was my luck, that's important. That binging sound. Okay, and this goes over the shoe, and then you can take your crayon and just lightly color that. You can use anything you can find. Now, what I like to do with crayon on trees is this. Make an S pattern, and you can make it in blue or blue-green or dark green or whatever. Let me find another green. I might even make some like this. The cypress tree, their branches kind of do that. So then I like to go over it with green watercolor. And I want to make that green darker than the green of the grass. So I want to get some more color in there. It's called pigment. So see how the crayon pops up under the watercolor? I like that. It's fun. But for something like the wooden part, you can use your crayon. It's a straight old crayon. And notice how they're getting smaller as they go away. You could change the color a little bit as they go away. You could make them, if you wanted to make a shadow on the ground, you could. And that would be the same color with little bits of grass poking through it. Now for the sky, again, you want to go straight across, just because the color of the water is picked up from the sky. And if you remember from the pictures that I showed you of the Domus Aurea, this part, this water part, was open to the sky. So always do your sky in a horizontal motion. And the nice thing about watercolors is if it's too strong, you can blot it with a paper towel. Now with a crayon, let's see if I have a nice blue, a light blue. This is sort of a gray blue, so you could go in there and do clouds like that on top of it. If you want to put in a sunset, you can use pinks and oranges and have the sun setting in it. Don't give me the sun you did in second grade with the rays coming out of it. I don't want to see that. So this is kind of what we're doing here. If I did it on part of it, I want to do it on all of it because I want the thing to look like a whole piece of art. I would make this bright colors, so maybe I'll repeat my pink and green. You could even leave it white in one of the stripes. Wouldn't matter, just so it showed up. Especially since if you make all this concrete gray, that would work. So, you know, I think yellow would look good in that wooden handle. Make that stand out. So if we're doing it there, we should do it down in the feet because they're made out of wood as well with little round bottoms. And where's my brown crayon? I put it back. If you can remember to do it, always put your crayons back when you're done and put your stuff somewhere where it's safe, where the dog, your little brother, your cousin from Milwaukee, whoever is tearing up your stuff can't get to it. Okay, so that works. And maybe I'll put a orange along here, or pink along here. Yeah, orange. Who knows? This would be a cushion like you see on people's porches. This is called a chaise lounge, and it is not a new invention. It has been around a long time. Let me try this green. Oh yeah, I like that green. That's a nice green. Now this part down here would be wood, so I'm going to outline it with brown and put yellow in it so it looks like it goes with the handle and the feet. So, and for those stones, I just outlined them with gray and then I filled them in with pencil. You don't need anything fancy for that. Oops. Watercolor goes where you don't want it, you just push it up. And underneath here, it would be in shadow, so you can put some shadow underneath there. And then put your pencil right on top of that, and don't worry about it. Maybe a little bit over here to one side. Shove that over. Don't burn your pencil, cover it up. And this, I have to have a grade in by Friday, because I've got to get all these grades done, totaled, and in by Monday. So please, I don't put on your favorite movie and color, because also these down here, if you, this is fluting, so let's say I did my fluting with a brown crayon. So what you can do in the water, You can make the fluting kind of wibbly wobbly. Doesn't have to be straight because the water is always in motion. But put that in there. And if you colored it yellow, you could just take a little bit of yellow and put it down there as well. So I got a smaller brush here. And you can soften that yellow by just adding more water to it. So, okay, so brown with a little yellow, sidewalk pencil, color in your chaise lounge. Your goblet here would be metal, so you could make it either gray, like this. Just push harder with your pencil. You could decorate it with diamonds and whatever. After all, it's your goblet. Or you could make it gold. I'm lining it with gold. Posh. Okay. And everything else, just color it the way you want. I would keep this. It's just a background piece, so don't make it a big deal. Don't make it bright colors. It's interesting, though. We think of statues and buildings as just being stone. The Greeks and the Romans actually colored their buildings and their statues. But over the centuries, the color wore off, and we thought that's the way it always had been. But it turns out it wasn't. I'm going to put that tile roof on top. Yes. Yes. Okay, so here's my little, and I'll do more to that later, but that gives you an idea of how to get it done. I'm going to get this up on Google Classroom so you guys can get this done for this grading period. Just color nicely. Anything that's up and down like this, you paint it up and down. Water and sky are always horizontal. Can you think of any other things they need to know, Tim?
I think you got one.
Okay, well, you can ask me in class tomorrow or Friday, but try and get it in by Friday at the latest, and we can work on this in class. If I figure out how to use this Elmo, we can work on it in class. Do you know how to use an Elmo?
Elmo, the guy from
No,
the street?
not the guy from Sesame Street. Okay. All right.
Bye.
Bye.